specialists, this is a definitive mixed drink. An extraordinary tasting, even mixed drink that is basically a festival of bourbon on your sense of taste. Notwithstanding, you may not realize that this mixed drink isn't just wealthy in flavor yet in addition wealthy in history. The innovation of this alcoholic magnum opus is credited to a bartender named James E. Pepper in 1880. An article written in 2005 in the Louisville Courier-Journal shows that Pepper designed a beverage in Louisville. At that point he took the creation to New York City. Explicitly the Waldorf Astoria Hotel Bar, where it bloomed in prevalence. This is credited as the origin of the old-fashioned, however. A few naysayers of this story highlight a book written in 1862 by Jerry Thomas as verification that the formula existed preceding 1880. In spite of the fact that Thomas's Bartender's Guide How to Mix Drinks specifies a comparative mixed drink, it utilizes gin in lieu of bourbon, in this manner changing the appearance of the beverage. Notwithstanding being broadly thought to be a chick drink, the daiquiri shockingly has a masculine inception story. Sliced to the 17th century when the British and the Spanish forcefully watched the oceans, chasing privateers and attempting frantically to extend their rule, the mariners of the maritime boats fought long excursions with awful climate and nausea. To assist adapt to this, the mariners were dispensed 3.8 liters, one lady, of lager every day per man by law. The issue was that huge numbers of these boats were watching the Caribbean, with Nassau being a known privateer. Problem area, approximately 7,200 kilometers, 4,500 miles, away. Loading enough brew for an excursion that since quite a while ago, not to mention restocking it from so distant, represented an incredible strategic problem. The arrangement came as rum. It was concluded that 473 milliliters, 1 pt, of rum, which was generally accessible in the Caribbean, was a reasonable substitute. Tragically, the rum was substantially more powerful and the troopers' profitability declined definitely on the grounds that they were truly drunk. In 1740, Naval Admiral Edward Old Grog Vernon started weakening the alcohol with water and lime juice to help his team remain more calm. Those fixings are the base of what got known as the daiquiri, too. Technically, Jennings Cox is credited with the creation of the daiquiri. He ran out of gin while facilitating visitors and utilized rum as a substitute, considering it the daiquiri after the name of a seashore on the island of Cuba. Nonetheless, that is far less cool than tipsy privateer trackers. Would you accept that this mixed drink was imagined at a gathering for Winston Churchill's mom? Despite the fact that this was a famous talk about the birthplace of the Manhattan, this hypothesis holds little weight. Woman Randolph Churchill was back in England and right now pregnant with Winston at the time this beverage rose to prominence. 3. The Manhattan Club in New York actually guarantees responsibility for unique formula, thus the name. Yet, there are murmurs of a man, basically called Dark, who concocted the beverage while working at the Hoffman House in New York. While the specific subtleties are far from being obviously true, all specialists concur that the Manhattan began in New York. The sources of this beverage have a larger number of speculations and unexpected developments than a James Bond film, with numerous mysterious contending birthplace stories. The standard of composing is that the coolest hypothesis consistently wins out, so here goes. A gold excavator in Martinez, California, become quite wealthy in the mid-1800s and normally chose to hit the neighborhood bar to celebrate. He requested champagne, yet the bar didn't have anything, so he stated, "Make me the fanciest blend you can think about." The barkeep tossed a couple of fixings together in a glass, and the excavator cherished it. He requested that the barkeep mention to him what was in it. At that point, the excavator headed out to San Francisco, requested this beverage at another bar, and showed the barkeep there how to make it, originally known as the Martinez Special. The martini was conceived. Still around today, this alcoholic imaginativeness has gotten a brilliant work of art. The margarita is one famous beverage that has three contending speculations about its invention. Margarita Sames was a rich young lady from Dallas, Texas. She asserted that she imagined the beverage while traveling in Acapulco with her companions in 1948. One of her companions, Tommy Hilton, of a similar family that claims the Hilton hotel chain, was so intrigued by the beverage that he put it on the lodging bar drink menus. However, as Jose Cuervo was at that point a set-up tequila brand that effectively supported the margarita beginning in 1945, it is profoundly impossible that Margarita imagined her namesake drink. There are some who depend on this story, however, since rich individuals with influence a lot could never lie. Of course, another guarantee is held by Danny Negrete. He evidently made this mixed drink as a wedding present for his sister-in-law, who additionally turned out to be named Margarita. Finally, we have Mexican barkeep Don Carlos Orozco, who purportedly made this beverage for the little girl of a German envoy. She was likewise named Margarita. It merits bringing up that there was a comparative beverage that turned out to be profoundly famous during Prohibition called the Daisy. Unintentionally, margarita is Spanish for daisy. Much the same as the Manhattan is from Manhattan, the Moscow donkey should be from Moscow, right? Wrong. 6. Although the specific starting point of the beverage is obscure, the proprietors of the Los Angeles bar Cock in Bull acquired the beverage to prominence the 1940s. Notwithstanding, in an article distributed in 2007 in the Wall Street Journal, Wes Price, the head barkeep for the Cock in Bull, guarantees that he designed the formula. Whatever the case, the Moscow donkey kicked off the ubiquity of vodka inside the U.S. Much the same as the Manhattan is from Manhattan, the Moscow donkey should be from Moscow, right? Wrong. 6. Although the specific starting point of the beverage is obscure, the proprietors of the Los Angeles bar Cock in Bull acquired the beverage to prominence the 1940s. Notwithstanding, in an article distributed in 2007 in the Wall Street Journal, Wes Price, the head barkeep for the Cock in Bull, guarantees that he designed the formula. Whatever the case, the Moscow donkey kicked off the ubiquity of vodka inside the U.S. The causes of this beverage are ironclad. Its horrendous name, alongside crocodiles and storms, can be followed to one spot, Florida. A bar called Confetti's is credited with the invention. 7. Apparently, one of their barkeeps made the fruity beverage and figured, what's the most ludicrous, fundamental, non-creative name I can consider for this? Goodness, hello look, there's a couple having intercourse on the seashore. I had it. Sex on the beach. Admittedly, we can't be certain that is actually how it went down, yet we are discussing Florida here, so it appears to be really exact. The Cosmo was really an emblematic beverage in the gay network during the 1970s when it was first presented. The beverage is credited to barkeep Cheryl Cook, who worked in South Beach. Supposedly, A client requested that her order a beverage that made him look refined, however was better and less cruel than the conventional martini, ate the mixed drink made by Cook, known as the Cosmopolitan. Simultaneously, John Kane, a barkeep in Provincetown, had made a comparative beverage. Kane took the beverage with him to San Francisco, where it detonated in ubiquity in the gay social scene. Jerry Thomas's Bartender's Guide, How to Mix Drinks contained a formula for this unbelievable bourbon drink in 1862. Not at all like different mixed drinks that set aside a long effort to ascend to notoriety, the bourbon hash has been famous from its introduction to the world right until, well, now. 9. Wisconsin paper Waukesha Plain Dealer once distributed an article which alluded to the bourbon hash as a cardinal point in American drinking. Sometimes when you make an ideal beverage, it remains ideal for more than 100 years. Initially, the mint julep was reputed to be burned through for its therapeutic properties. Ranchers would savor them in the morning, much like individuals presently drink espresso, for the additional lift to make them go. The mint julep additionally turned into the official beverage of the Kentucky Derby in 1938. The word julep is of Persian legacy. It is gotten from the word gulab, which is a Persian improved rose water, a lot of like the syrup used to make the minty new drink we know today. In Arabic, gulab is known as jalab, which became julapium when converted into Latin. 10. Since julapium syrup was utilized to make the beverage, it worked its way into the name to shape what we know today as the mint julep. The way that the alcohol of decision for these beverages is whiskey clarifies the southern fame and the conspicuousness that the mint julep has regarding the world-renowned Kentucky Derby.